In this particular case, I feel like this is so important, and we need to certainly get the word out to everybody about the hazards that are associated with fentanyl. On September 8th, our sheriff's deputies arrested James Michael Arnold of Fletcher for second-degree murder, possession with intent to sell and deliver Schedule II fentanyl, and sale or delivery of fentanyl, and he is under a $114,000 secured bond. These charges against Arnold stem from the death of Justin Kane Anderson, who died as a result of what is called acute fentanyl toxicity, and that is according to the medical reports. And our deputies determined that there was enough evidence to proceed with a murder charge, and that the person that was arrested had indeed supplied fentanyl to the now victim. I'd like to point out here that fentanyl is about 80 to 100 times more powerful than morphine, and it is much more addictive than heroin. And we have in Henderson County about 6 to 7 cases right now that we can point the finger to after the toxicology reports have come in that are a result of fentanyl overdose. And we believe that there's another half dozen that could potentially be fentanyl overdoses. Now, in the cases that we have here, the other half dozen that are remaining, what we have to wait for are toxicology reports to come back to prove conclusively. Now, that has been since January on all the cases that I have just referred to. Any usage of it, though, in any other capacity, in any other means, can be potentially fatal. And so we're determining right now whether some of the cases I've told you about, and as far as overdoses, where somebody may have placed a patch on, they had an authorized prescription for that fentanyl patch, placed one patch on, they thought it might have been doing good, placed another patch on. So in this particular case, there was clear evidence that pointed to the person supplying it illegally to the person that overdosed. How it gets into the system, as it's prescribed, it's simply a patch that's absorbed into the skin over about a 72-hour period. But what we're seeing is people are chewing the fentanyl patches, or what they're doing is diluting it in some type of something that breaks down the emulsification process and injecting it straight into their system. Now, bear in mind, this is 80 to 100 times more powerful than a morphine patch, for instance. So they're getting that straight into their system. So they're getting to charge somebody with second-degree murder when they have provided narcotics is it's something that's not unusual, but it certainly sets a precedent here. And I hope that this sends a clear message to anybody that is providing these patches illegally, that they run a serious risk of facing a second-degree murder charge if they provide fentanyl.
But we have an unusual situation here that dictates the sheriff and I bringing this matter to the public. We're trying to send a message without getting into specifics of the indictment that's been brought already and what might be brought later. The message we're trying to get across is that the sheriff and I will continue to prosecute any illegal use of a controlled substance to the fullest. But the nature of fentanyl is such that it is such a dangerous substance that we're now having a string of overdoses, many of which have been fatal. And that tells us that we need to warn off the public from the improper and illegal use of this drug. And more than that, we need to warn people who legally possess fentanyl to literally keep it under lock and key because it is such a dangerous and addictive substance. And apparently, as the sheriff has said, what is happening is that some people are using the patch and then taking additional medications legally or illegally, and they are overdosing on it. And what we don't want is to have a kid who tries something one time be ignorant about the seriousness of both the illegality of it and the substance itself. And if we can save one kid from going into his grandmother's medical cabinet and stealing it and then overdosing, then we've accomplished a good result here. That's kind of the nature of what we're trying to do.